Everyone knows that the Antichrist, Dajjal, will come one day, bringing trials and deceptions that will test our faith. To be ready for this challenging time, there are 10 important things we can do. Let's explore these steps to prepare ourselves for the emergence of the Dajjal. 1. Increase knowledge of Islam and strengthen faith by studying the Quran and Hadith. Understanding the signs of the Dajjal and the prophecies related to the end times can help one recognize and resist his deception. 2. Regularly make the dua for protection from the Dajjal, as recommended by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. O Allah, I seek refuge with you from the torment of hell, from the torment of the grave, from the trials of life and death, and from the evil of the trial of the Antichrist. 3. Maintain and increase devotion in daily prayers. Prayer is a means of seeking Allah's guidance and protection. 4. Regularly recite Surah Al-Kahf, chapter 18, on Fridays. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mentioned that reciting the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf will protect one from the trials of the Dajjal. 5. Lead a life in accordance with Islamic principles. Avoid sinful behaviors and seek forgiveness for past sins. Good deeds can act as a shield against the trials of the Dajjal. 6. Engage in charity and help those in need. Acts of kindness and generosity can help strengthen the heart and make one more resilient to the trials of the Dajjal. 7. Maintain strong ties with the Muslim community and participate in communal worship and activities. A strong community can provide support and guidance during difficult times. 8. Cultivate patience and trust in Allah's plan. The trials of the Dajjal will be severe, and having inner strength will be crucial in remaining steadfast. 9. Adhere to the practices and teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The Sunnah provides practical guidance on living a life pleasing to Allah and can help one remain firm in faith. And 10. Be mentally and physically prepared for the hardships that may come with the trials of the Dajjal. This includes being prepared to face deception, persecution, and other challenges with resilience and faith. Now let me tell you a story that will make you stronger. In the small village of Nur, there lived a devout Muslim named Hamza. Hamza had heard stories of the Dajjal from his elders and knew that one day this great deceiver would emerge to test the faith of believers. Determined to prepare himself and his family, Hamza embarked on a journey of learning. He spent countless hours studying the Quran and Hadith, seeking to understand the signs and warnings given by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Hamza's evenings were filled with the gentle hum of recitation as he read the Quran with his children, explaining the meanings of each verse. He would often gather the community's youth and share the prophetic traditions, emphasizing the importance of recognizing the Dajjal and understanding his deceitful tactics. His wife, Aisha, would join these sessions, adding her insights and ensuring that their daughters, too, were well versed in their faith. Through his studies, Hamza discovered the importance of strengthening one's faith to withstand the Dajjal's trials. He learned that the Dajjal would possess extraordinary powers and perform miracles that could easily mislead those weak in faith. To counter this, Hamza focused on building a solid foundation of belief, encouraging others to do the same. He reminded them that true faith comes from understanding and living by the teachings of Islam, not just blind adherence to rituals. One day, Hamza organized a community event where respected scholars spoke about the Dajjal and the signs of the end times. The scholars' words resonated deeply with the villagers, inspiring them to delve deeper into their faith. Hamza felt a sense of fulfillment as he saw his community growing stronger in knowledge and belief, better prepared for the trials that lay ahead. Through his tireless efforts, Hamza not only fortified his own faith, but also became a beacon of knowledge and guidance for his entire village. He knew that this was just the beginning, and that continuous learning and application of Islamic principles were crucial in preparing for the Dajjal. With a heart full of faith and a mind enriched with knowledge, Hamza was confident that he and his community were on the right path to face any challenge the future might hold. In the tranquil village of Nur, the mosque echoed with the heartfelt supplications of its inhabitants. Among them was Fatima, a pious woman known for her unwavering faith and dedication to prayer. Fatima had heard many accounts of the Dajjal from her elders and understood the importance of seeking refuge in Allah to protect herself and her loved ones from this formidable trial. Every morning, before the first light of dawn broke through the sky, Fatima would rise and perform her ablutions. She would then stand in prayer, her heart connected to Allah. After completing her salah, she would recite a specific dua taught by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. O Allah, I seek refuge with you from the torment of hell, from the torment of the grave, from the trials of life and death, and from the evil of the trial of the Antichrist. Fatima believed that sincere supplication was a powerful means of seeking Allah's protection. She often shared this belief with her friends and family, urging them to make this dua a part of their daily routine. During gatherings, she would remind them of the Prophet's words and the significance of seeking refuge from the Dajjal's fitna, trial. One evening, Fatima organized a small gathering at her home, inviting women from the village to join her in collective prayer and remembrance of Allah. As they sat in a circle, Fatima spoke about the importance of supplication and shared the stories of past prophets who sought refuge in Allah during times of hardship. The women listened intently, their hearts moved by Fatima's sincerity and devotion. Fatima also taught the children in her village to recite the dua. She would gather them after school and explain the meaning of the supplication, emphasizing the importance of asking Allah for protection. The children, with their innocent hearts and eager minds, would repeat the words after her, their voices filling the air with hope and faith. As the days turned into months, Fatima noticed a profound change in her community. People were more mindful of their prayers, and the mosque was filled with the sounds of heartfelt supplications. The villagers felt a sense of peace and security, knowing that they were seeking Allah's protection against the Dajjal and other trials. Fatima's dedication to seeking refuge in Allah became a source of strength for her and her community. Through her example, they learned the importance of turning to Allah in times of need and placing their trust in His divine protection. Fatima's unwavering faith and commitment to supplication served as a beacon of hope, guiding her community through the uncertain times ahead. In the heart of Nur, there was a humble mosque where the faithful gathered 5 times a day to perform their salah, prayers. Among the regular attendees was a young man named Ibrahim. Ibrahim understood that the key to fortifying his faith against the Dajjal lay in his daily prayers. He knew that salah was not just a ritual, but a direct connection to Allah, a means of seeking guidance and protection. Ibrahim made it a point to never miss a prayer. He would leave his work promptly to join the congregation at the mosque, where the community's imam often spoke about the importance of salah. The imam reminded them that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had emphasized the significance of maintaining their prayers, especially in times of trials and tribulations. One day, after the Friday prayer, the imam gave a poignant sermon about the Dajjal. He explained how the Dajjal would exploit the weak in faith and deceive many with his false miracles. The imam stressed that those who were steadfast in their prayers would be granted Allah's guidance and protection. This sermon resonated deeply with Ibrahim, reinforcing his commitment to his daily prayers. At home, Ibrahim encouraged his family to prioritize their salah. He would gather his wife and children for the prayers, leading them with devotion and sincerity. His home became a place where the remembrance of Allah was constant, creating an atmosphere of peace and spiritual strength. Ibrahim's children grew up understanding the importance of prayer, not just as a duty, but as a source of solace and guidance. Ibrahim also made an effort to perform additional prayers, such as the Tahajjud, night prayer, seeking to strengthen his connection with Allah even further. He believed that these extra acts of worship would prepare him spiritually for the trials of the Dajjal. In the quiet of the night, he would stand in prayer, his heart filled with humility and devotion. His dedication to Salah inspired those around him. His friends noticed the tranquility and strength in Ibrahim's character and sought his advice on maintaining their prayers. Ibrahim would often remind them of the Prophet's teachings and the immense benefits of consistent prayer. He shared his belief that through Salah, one could seek Allah's guidance and protection from the Dajjal and other challenges. Ibrahim's unwavering commitment to his daily prayers became a pillar of strength for him and his community. His life was a testament to the power of Salah, demonstrating that through sincere devotion and regular worship, one could fortify their faith and prepare for the trials of the Dajjal. His example encouraged others to prioritize their prayers, creating a community bound by faith and resilience. In the serene village of Nur, a wise elder named Yasir was renowned for his deep knowledge of the Quran. Yasir had spent years studying and teaching the Quran, and he understood the profound wisdom it held. One of the lessons he emphasized to the villagers was the importance of reciting and memorizing specific surahs to protect themselves from the trials of the Dajjal. Yasir often spoke about the significance of Surah Al-Kahf, chapter 18. The Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, had mentioned that reciting the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf would provide protection from the Dajjal. Yasir encouraged the villagers to recite this surah every Friday, as it was a means of fortifying their faith and seeking Allah's protection. Every Friday morning, Yasir would gather the children of the village in the mosque. With patience and wisdom, he would teach them to recite Surah Al-Kahf, explaining the meanings of the verses and the lessons they imparted. The children, with their eager hearts and sharp minds, would memorize the verses, their voices blending in a harmonious recitation that filled the mosque with a sense of peace and reverence. Yasir also organized study circles for adults, where they would come together to read and reflect on Surah Al-Kahf. He would explain the stories within the surah, such as the tale of the people of the cave and the lessons they offered about faith, perseverance, and reliance on Allah. These gatherings became a source of spiritual nourishment for the villagers, strengthening their bond with the Quran and deepening their understanding of its teachings. One evening, Yasir shared a personal story with the community. He spoke of a time in his youth when he had faced a severe trial and how reciting Surah Al-Kahf had brought him solace and protection. His story moved the villagers, reinforcing their belief in the power of the Quran and the importance of reciting Surah Al-Kahf. Inspired by Yasir's teachings, the villagers began to incorporate the recitation of Surah Al-Kahf into their weekly routine. Parents encouraged their children to memorize the verses, and families would gather on Friday evenings to recite the surah together. This practice brought them closer to Allah and instilled a sense of spiritual resilience that would help them face any trial, including the Dajjal. Yasir's dedication to teaching Surah Al-Kahf left a lasting impact on the village of Nur. Through his efforts, the community became more connected to the Quran, understanding its relevance and power in their daily lives. Yasir's wisdom and guidance prepared them spiritually, ensuring that they were well equipped to face the challenges of the future with faith and confidence. In the peaceful village of Nur, there lived a man named Zaid, known for his righteousness and integrity. Zaid believed that the best way to prepare for the Dajjal was to lead a life in accordance with Islamic principles, avoiding sinful behaviors and seeking forgiveness for past transgressions. He understood that good deeds could act as a shield against the trials of the Dajjal. Zaid's day began before dawn with the Fajr prayer, setting the tone for a day filled with acts of worship and righteousness. He was meticulous in his business dealings, ensuring that he conducted himself with honesty and fairness. The villagers respected him for his ethical behavior, often seeking his advice on various matters. One day, Zaid noticed a young man named Khalid struggling with his faith and making poor choices. Recognizing the potential in Khalid, Zaid took him under his wing. He shared stories from the Quran and Hadith, emphasizing the importance of living righteously and seeking Allah's forgiveness. Zayd explained that by adhering to Islamic principles, one could protect themselves from the Dajjal's deceit. Zayd's home was a sanctuary of piety and virtue. He and his wife, Layla, were role models for their children, teaching them the values of honesty, kindness, and patience. They encouraged their children to perform good deeds, such as helping neighbors, respecting elders, and giving charity. These values became deeply ingrained in their family, creating a strong foundation of faith and righteousness. Every evening, Zayd would gather his family for a session of Quran recitation and reflection. They would discuss the verses they read, extracting lessons and applying them to their daily lives. This practice not only strengthened their faith, but also deepened their understanding of Islamic teachings. Zayd believed that living righteously meant continuously striving to align one's actions with the principles of Islam. One Friday, during the sermon, the Imam spoke about the Dajjal and the importance of living a righteous life. He emphasized that those who led lives of piety and virtue would be better equipped to recognize and resist the Dajjal's temptations. The Imam's words reinforced Zayd's commitment to righteousness and inspired the congregation to follow suit. Zayd also engaged in community service, organizing charity events and helping those in need. He believed that acts of kindness and generosity were not only pleasing to Allah, but also strengthened the community's resilience against future trials. Through his actions, Zayd demonstrated that living righteously was a holistic approach, encompassing personal conduct, family life, and community involvement. Zayd's unwavering dedication to living a righteous life left a profound impact on the village of Nur. His example inspired others to strive for piety and virtue, creating a community bound by strong moral values and deep faith. Zayd's life was a testament to the power of righteousness, showing that by living in accordance with Islamic principles, one could prepare for the Dajjal and any other challenges that lay ahead. In the vibrant village of Nur, there lived a generous woman named Amina, known for her charitable nature and compassionate heart. Amina believed that one of the best ways to prepare for the trials of the Dajjal was through acts of charity and helping those in need. She understood that kindness and generosity could strengthen the heart and build resilience against future challenges. Amina's home was always open to those in need. She would often cook large meals and distribute them to the less fortunate in the village. Her kitchen was a hub of activity, filled with the aroma of delicious food and the laughter of children. Amina found joy in giving, knowing that her acts of charity were not only helping others, but also earning her Allah's favor and protection. One cold winter evening, Amina organized a community event to distribute warm clothing and blankets to the poor. She rallied the villagers, encouraging them to donate whatever they could. The response was overwhelming, and soon her home was filled with piles of clothes and blankets ready to be given out. Amina's initiative brought the community together, fostering a spirit of generosity and solidarity. Amina also believed in the power of small, everyday acts of kindness. She would often visit the elderly in the village, bringing them food and spending time with them. Her presence brought comfort and joy to those who were lonely and in need of companionship. Through these simple acts, Amina demonstrated that charity was not just about giving material goods, but also about giving time, love, and care. One day, Amina's friend Layla confided in her about financial difficulties she was facing. Without hesitation, Amina offered to help, providing Layla with the support she needed to get back on her feet. Layla was deeply moved by Amina's generosity and decided to pay it forward by helping others in her own way. This ripple effect of kindness spread throughout the village, creating a network of support and compassion. During one of the Friday sermons, the Imam spoke about the Dajjal and the importance of charity in preparing for his trials. He reminded the congregation that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had emphasized the significance of helping those in need and that acts of charity could protect one from the trials of the Dajjal. Amina felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that her charitable acts were not only benefiting her community, but also preparing her spiritually for the future. Amina's dedication to charity inspired many in the village of Nur. People began to follow her example, finding ways to give and support one another. The village became a place of generosity and kindness, where everyone looked out for each other. Through her selfless acts, Amina showed that by increasing charitable deeds, one could strengthen their heart, build community resilience, and prepare for the trials of the Dajjal. In the tight-knit village of Nur, community life played a central role in the daily lives of its inhabitants. Among them was a man named Ali, who understood the profound importance of staying connected with the Muslim community, especially in preparing for the trials of the Dajjal. Ali believed that a strong, united community could provide support, guidance, and strength during difficult times. Ali was actively involved in the village mosque, participating in organizing events, educational programs, and communal prayers. He believed that the mosque was not just a place of worship, but also a hub for community bonding and mutual support. Every Friday, the mosque was filled with villagers coming together for the Jumu'ah, Friday prayer, followed by a communal meal where they shared stories, advice, and encouragement. One day, Ali proposed starting a weekly study circle at the mosque, where people could come together to learn about the Quran and Hadith, discuss their implications, and share their experiences. The idea was well received, and soon the study circle became a popular event. Each week, a different member of the community would lead the discussion, fostering a sense of shared responsibility and collective learning. Through these study circles, Ali emphasized the importance of understanding the signs of the Dajjal and preparing spiritually and mentally for his emergence. He shared the hadiths and prophetic traditions that spoke about the Dajjal, encouraging the community to stay vigilant and informed. The discussions often led to deeper reflections on their faith and the need to support one another in maintaining strong belief and righteous conduct. Ali also organized community service projects, such as cleanup drives, helping the elderly, and providing assistance to those in need. These activities not only improved the village's physical environment, but also strengthened the bonds between its members. Working side by side, the villagers developed a sense of camaraderie and trust, knowing that they could rely on each other in times of need. One evening, Ali gathered the youth of the village for a special session on the importance of community in Islam. He explained how the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, had emphasized the value of unity and brotherhood among Muslims. Ali encouraged the young people to actively participate in community activities, reminding them that they were the future leaders and protectors of their faith. The sense of community in Nur was palpable. During times of celebration and times of hardship, the villagers stood together, supporting one another with love and compassion. Ali's efforts to strengthen community ties paid off, creating a resilient and united front against any challenges, including the trials of the Dajjal. Ali's dedication to fostering a strong Muslim community in Nur served as a powerful example of how staying connected could provide spiritual and practical support. Through his leadership and involvement, he demonstrated that a united community was not only a source of strength and comfort, but also a vital part of preparing for the trials of the future. His efforts ensured that the village of Nur remained a place of faith, solidarity, and mutual support. In the serene village of Nur, there lived a wise and patient woman named Maryam. Maryam understood that one of the most important ways to prepare for the Dajjal was to develop inner strength and patience. She knew that the trials brought by the Dajjal would be severe, and having a resilient heart and mind would be crucial in remaining steadfast in faith. Maryam's journey towards inner strength began with a deep commitment to her daily prayers and spiritual practices. Every morning, she would wake up before dawn to perform the tahajjud prayer, seeking solace and strength in the quiet moments of the night. She found that these intimate conversations with Allah fortified her soul, providing her with the patience and resilience she needed to face life's challenges. Maryam also practiced mindfulness and reflection. She would often sit by the river that flowed through Nur, contemplating the beauty of Allah's creation and the lessons it offered. She believed that nature was a reflection of Allah's wisdom, and that by observing it, she could learn to navigate her own life's trials with grace and patience. These moments of reflection helped her cultivate a calm and centered mind, ready to withstand any hardship. One day, Maryam faced a personal trial when her husband fell ill. The illness was prolonged, and it tested her patience and strength. During this difficult time, Maryam relied heavily on her faith. She would recite Quranic verses, particularly those that spoke about patience and trust in Allah's plan. Her favorite verse was from Surah Al-Baqarah. "O you who have believed, seek help through patience and prayer. Indeed, Allah is with the patient." Quran 2:53. Maryam's patience and unwavering faith became a source of inspiration for her children and neighbors. She taught her children the importance of sabr, patience, and tawakkul, trust in Allah, through her actions and words. They saw how she handled adversity with grace and strength, and they learned to apply these values in their own lives. In the evenings, Maryam would gather with other women in the village, sharing her experiences and encouraging them to develop their own inner strength. She organized workshops on mindfulness, where they would practice deep breathing, meditation, and Quranic recitation. These sessions provided the women with practical tools to cultivate patience and resilience, preparing them for any trials they might face, including the Dajjal's fitna. Maryam's dedication to developing inner strength and patience left a lasting impact on the village of Nur. The villagers learned that true resilience came from within, and that by nurturing their spiritual and mental well-being, they could better withstand external challenges. Maryam's life was a testament to the power of patience and inner strength, showing that with faith and perseverance, one could face any trial with confidence and grace. Through her example, Maryam taught the people of Nur that the journey towards inner strength was a continuous process, requiring dedication, faith, and reflection. Her wisdom and guidance ensured that the village was not only spiritually prepared, but also mentally resilient, ready to face the trials of the Dajjal and any other challenges that life might bring. In the peaceful village of Nur, a respected elder named Hassan was known for his deep adherence to the Sunnah, the practices and teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH. Hassan believed that following the Sunnah was essential in preparing for the trials of the Dajjal, as it provided practical guidance on living a life pleasing to Allah and remaining steadfast in faith. Hassan's day-to-day life was a reflection of his commitment to the Sunnah. He meticulously followed the Prophet's example in every aspect of his life, from his daily routines to his interactions with others. Hassan began his mornings with the same prayer and supplications that the Prophet recommended, seeking blessings and protection from Allah. One of Hassan's favorite practices was to start his day with a glass of water and a handful of dates, emulating the Prophet's habit. He also placed great emphasis on cleanliness and personal hygiene, regularly using the miswak, a natural toothbrush, as the Prophet did. These small acts, rooted in the Sunnah, were constant reminders of the Prophet's teachings and helped Hassan maintain a close connection with his faith. Hassan often shared his knowledge of the Sunnah with the younger generation. He would gather the youth of the village in the mosque and teach them about the Prophet's life and practices. Through storytelling, Hassan made the Sunnah accessible and relatable, encouraging the youth to incorporate these practices into their own lives. He explained that by following the Sunnah, they could strengthen their faith and build a strong foundation to resist the Dajjal's temptations. One evening, Hassan organized a community gathering where he spoke about the importance of the Sunnah in preparing for the end times. He reminded the villagers that the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, had provided a complete blueprint for living a righteous and fulfilling life. Hassan emphasized that the Sunnah encompassed all aspects of life, from worship and ethics to social conduct and personal habits. During the gathering, Hassan shared specific hadiths related to the Dajjal, explaining how the Prophet's teachings could help them recognize and withstand his trials. He highlighted the importance of reciting the dua for protection from the Dajjal and following the Prophet's advice on seeking refuge in Allah. The villagers were deeply moved by Hassan's words and felt a renewed sense of commitment to the Sunnah. Hassan also encouraged the villagers to practice the Sunnah of kindness and generosity. He led by example, regularly visiting the sick, helping the needy, and offering support to anyone in distress. His actions inspired others to do the same, fostering a community spirit of compassion and solidarity. By living according to the Sunnah, the villagers not only prepared themselves spiritually, but also strengthened their bonds with each other. Hassan's dedication to the Sunnah became a cornerstone of the village of Nur. Through his teachings and example, the villagers learned that following the Prophet's path was the best way to navigate life's challenges and prepare for the trials of the Dajjal. Hassan's life demonstrated that by adhering to the Sunnah, one could cultivate a deep and resilient faith, ready to face any adversity with confidence and trust in Allah. In the resilient village of Nur, there lived a resourceful man named Omar, who was known for his practical wisdom and foresight. Omar believed that one of the best ways to prepare for the Dajjal was to be mentally and physically ready for adversity. He understood that the trials brought by the Dajjal would be intense, and that having a well-prepared mind and body would be crucial in remaining steadfast in faith. Omar began his preparations by focusing on physical fitness. He organized regular exercise sessions in the village, encouraging people of all ages to join. These sessions included a mix of aerobic exercises, strength training, and flexibility workouts. Omar believed that a strong body would help them endure physical hardships and stay healthy, which was essential for facing the Dajjal's trials. In addition to physical fitness, Omar emphasized the importance of mental resilience. He organized workshops on stress management and coping strategies, teaching the villagers techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, and positive visualization. Omar shared stories from the Quran and Hadith that highlighted the importance of patience and perseverance in the face of adversity. These workshops provided the villagers with practical tools to maintain their mental well-being and stay calm during difficult times. Omar also believed in the importance of preparedness. He encouraged the villagers to keep emergency supplies such as food, water, and medical kits in their homes. He organized community drills to practice emergency response plans, ensuring that everyone knew what to do in case of a crisis. Omar's efforts helped the villagers feel more secure and confident in their ability to handle unexpected challenges. One day, Omar gathered the youth of the village for a special training session. He taught them basic survival skills such as starting a fire, purifying water, and building shelters. He explained that these skills could be crucial during the trials of the Dajjal, when resources might be scarce and self-reliance would be necessary. The youth eagerly participated, gaining valuable knowledge and a sense of empowerment. Omar also organized educational sessions on financial preparedness. He taught the villagers about budgeting, saving, and avoiding debt. He explained that being financially stable would reduce their vulnerability to the Dajjal's temptations and make them more resilient in the face of economic challenges. Omar's practical advice helped many families improve their financial situation, giving them peace of mind and stability. Throughout his efforts, Omar emphasized the importance of faith and reliance on Allah. He reminded the villagers that, despite their preparations, ultimate success and protection came from Allah alone. He encouraged them to continue their prayers, seek refuge in Allah, and trust in His divine plan. Omar's balanced approach of practical preparedness and spiritual reliance created a sense of holistic readiness in the village. Omar's dedication to preparing for adversity left a lasting impact on the village of Nur. The villagers felt more confident and capable, knowing that they were ready to face any trial, including the Dajjal's fitna. Omar's life demonstrated that by being mentally and physically prepared, one could navigate challenges with resilience and faith, ensuring that they remained steadfast in their devotion to Allah. Through his efforts, Omar showed the people of Nur that preparation was a multifaceted endeavor, requiring both practical skills and spiritual strength. His wisdom and guidance ensured that the village was not only prepared for the trials of the Dajjal, but also equipped to handle any adversity that life might bring.